So thanks again for joining us. We're going to go ahead and review all of the different tools that are available in Career Connection, which is NOVA's career management system. Our office, the Workforce and Corporate Engagement Career Services, manages Career Connection. It's myself, Dana Fallon, and my colleagues Christina Lee and Katina Sangarides. While the students have access to it, the employers do as well. So employers are using Career Connection to post jobs and internships and take part in different events that the college may be hosting. But mainly, this is a tool really for you to use as you're thinking about finding jobs or internships and sort of launching your career. We're going to run through the agenda here, and it's a pretty aggressive agenda because there's a lot of things you can use in here through Career Connection. So we'll go ahead, talk about how you can customize your homepage that will help you direct jobs and events that you're interested in. We have a career events calendar, which will have NOVA events as well as external events to the college, given the number of Zoom webinars, online kind of events that are going on. We'll post as many of those as we can as well. There's a resource library with reference tools, guides, and other tools that you can use to explore and find your career and do a little more if you're interested in looking at different careers and what you might need to do. Places for you to store your resumes and your cover letters. If you need help building that cover letter or that resume, we've got a tool there. We're also going to demo the mock interview tool, where you can practice your online interviewing skills, and then also demo how you can search and apply for jobs or internships in the system. Essentially, you all have access to Career Connection right away. Every student at NOVA has an account. It's created automatically using your MyNOVA credentials. So once those are activated, you use your MyNOVA credentials, your username at the beginning of your email, and whatever password you use to get into that email. This way you don't have to create a new password, remember a new password. It's a single sign-on process that you can use throughout your career at NOVA as a student, as long as you're actively enrolled in a class, and then for 3 semesters after that. You know, we understand that sometimes you need to step out. You may need to skip a semester. You're not taking classes over the summer, but we're not going to kick you out of the system because you haven't used it for a semester or two, because if you're planning on coming back, we want you to be able to roll right back into there, get your access to your resumes again, your cover letters, the documents you have, and the information you have saved in there, and then you can start using it. Once you've stopped taking classes at NOVA for at least 3 semesters, you no longer have active credentials at NOVA. MyNOVA doesn't work. That means Career Connection won't work either. Once you re-enroll, we'll get you back in the system. And also once you graduate, and once you've earned a credential at NOVA and you become an alum, you will roll over and you will continue to have an account with us. You can use Career Connection then as you're advancing your career, that next job you're looking for. You can come back into Career Connection, your resume will be there, you can update it, and you can start searching for jobs then. And we also want you to remember that once you get out there in the work world and you've got a job and you're looking to hire somebody else, come back and hire another Nighthawk. Make sure you're coming back to NOVA to bring more people on board and to follow in your footsteps. The address where you will find the login is on the Career Services webpage. So it is at this site. We'll be sending these slides out. So you'll have the hot links to all of these, to the places we're referring to in the program. But basically you'll find that login page for your as a student account right there in the Career Services webpage. So we're going to start getting into the tools. And so as I mentioned at the top, you're able to customize your profile to use it to your advantage, to have it direct programs that you're interested in and jobs you're interested in. So Kat is going to go ahead and talk about and demonstrate how to customize your pages.
Hello, everyone. I'm just going to share my screen so we can all see what that looks like. All right, so we're on the Career Connection homepage, and as Dana mentioned, we're going to start by talking about customizing your personal Career Connection profile. So there are two sections in Career Connection where you can fill in your academic information and your past work experiences. Filling in these two sections allows you the option to share your information with employers recruiting for opportunities, and it allows Career Connection to recommend jobs and internships to you based on your qualifications and career interests. So the first place we're going to go is on the left-hand sidebar. It's called Student Profile. And it's going to take you to your student profile page. So if you're familiar at all with LinkedIn, this might look a little similar to you. It gives you a space to add your education and work experience. You can see up top, there's some education information. If you scroll down, you have a space to put your personal statement if you want to, past education, current education, as well as any experience you might have or projects you just want to show off. You could input your skills at the bottom here. You could attach a resume or a personal website if you want. You could even link your actual LinkedIn page if you want to have that URL also on this profile. Yeah, at the bottom here, you could also see how many people have viewed your profile. This one here is a sample profile, so it only has one view, but you could kind of keep track of who's been looking at your profile if you choose to make it public. Once you've filled out all of your information here in the student profile and you want to share it with employers, you can click the publish button here. You can see it's off now, and then I'll click it to turn it on. It says your profile is ready, share it. So if you click share it, it's going to give you a shareable link that you can send out to employers or anybody else, and they don't have to have access to Career Connection. Anyone will be able to use this URL to get to your basically virtual resume page here. When you choose to publish your profile, you also will, employers will be able to see your published profile if you apply to one of their jobs. Publishing your profile is optional. If you don't want them to see this, every time you apply to a job, you don't have to publish it. But it's important to note that if you do want to share this public profile, you can also share it with employers even if you don't apply to their job. And the way to do this is by giving the system your permission through the privacy settings. And I'm going to walk you through that right now. So to get to your privacy settings, you're going to go to My Account on the left-hand side here and click on Privacy. It's going to take you to a page with a few privacy settings, and the one I'm going to talk about today is Promote Me to Employers. If you choose yes to promote me to employers, you can make your profile searchable to employers, even if you don't apply to their job. So this makes it easier for employers to find you. When you make this selection, vetted employers will be able to see the information you share on your profile. And this includes a resume if you upload one, your current academic information, and your email address. Being part of Promote Me to Employers is entirely optional. You can click yes, you can go back and forth, yes and no, as many times as you want. I will say it's a good tool if you're actively searching for a job and you want employers to be able to find you. But again, if you don't want to share your public personal information, you can leave it to no, and that's totally fine as well. So that's the first part of this, the customization you can do. The second part is under My Account Academic. So we're already under My Account right here on the left, and now we're going to select the Academic. So the system takes you to a page that has a lot of the same information that's already in your student profile. However, don't worry, if you put it in one place, it's going to pre-populate itself in the other place so that you don't have to fill it out twice. But there are a couple things that are different on this page that it's important to look out for. So I definitely recommend visiting the student profile on the side here, as well as the Academic My Account. So as we saw on the student profile, there's some academic information such as your degree, your graduation date, class level. You could put your GPA if you choose to do so. There's some certificates that we offer at NOVA. You could input if you've earned those. But the part that's really important on this page here is all the way at the bottom, and it's called Career Interests. So this is where you can fill in what type of opportunities you're interested in seeing on Career Connection. This will give you personalized jobs and guidance based on what you put in. So here I'm indicated that I'm interested in full-time, part-time, and paid internship positions. And I'm really interested in jobs that have to do with information technology and companies that have to do with information technology. I could also input where I would like to work, and also just some other fields here about employer culture. So some things that I care about in where I'd like to work. So once you save these settings, the system will use them to recommend jobs and opportunities and events to you that match what you're interested in. And we're going to take a closer look at that later on when we talk about searching for jobs and internships. But for now, I'm going to hand it over to the next part of the presentation.
It really does help to have that customization, because it does allow you to have like your own search agent and focus in and filter in on the types of jobs that you're most interested in while you're using the system. So the filtering, we mentioned events. On your profile page, on your home page, if you'll see the different events that are happening at the college. And those events will also filter based on your major and what you've kind of put your career interest as. So it helps, again, maybe take out some of the things you really are not looking for and save some time for you later. The events are for NOVA events that are sponsored by the college or at all the different campuses, as well as local events that are hosted by employers or organizations that are hosting career fairs, hiring events, maybe they're doing screening interviews. And we look for those, and we have employers send those to us because they want NOVA students to participate. We'll put those on there as well under events and identify them as external virtual events. And you can find all the events by either logging into Career Connection and going to the events tab on the page. And under that tab, you can click on career fairs that are happening. They're divided up into information sessions as well. So if an employer may be doing an information session, there may be a session happening on campus. It could be an external information session that an employer is making available because they want to share information about their company or their hiring process, and as well as workshops. Workshops like this are listed. Workshops like the series of workshops that Systemic has been hosting this past month. And we really encourage you to follow up because there's another series of programs coming out for over the next month on Wednesdays again at 11 and 3. And there'll be more opportunities to learn about networking, LinkedIn, interviewing, all of the sort of career skills that we want you to learn about. So check that out and make sure you take a look at the calendar here. The other way to get to see that is to go to the Career Services website. There's a career events page, and on that page, we'll have the calendar for the college, as well as the Career Connection events calendar that you don't even have to log in yet to Career Connection. You'll see the events listed there. If you see something you're interested in, you click on it. It will take you to Career Connection where you can log in and RSVP for the event or learn more about it. So there's a couple places for you to find out where the events are and what's happening. The next section I want to talk about, and Christina will talk about, is our resources section. And so there are ways for you to find out about careers, or delve more in depth into what maybe your strengths are, and then resources that we're making available to help you as well. So I'll let Christina talk about this section.
All right, thank you, Dana. So like Dana mentioned, there are tons of different resources, career-related resources available to NOVA students and alumni. So from these different screenshots, you can see that the resource tab is located on the left-hand side of the student homepage in Career Connection. The first one that I will be speaking about is the first one that you see on your left-hand side, the resource library. So I'll be talking about the resource library that is basically includes website links, articles, how-to guides, and other important career resources. An example would be that we create different guides, such as how to use our mock interview tool, our resume tool. There may be different articles on internships available, different just career related resources that we may find helpful to share with you guys. So that's the resource library. The next thing is the Career Explorer, which you'll see on your right hand side. That basically allows students and alumni to explore career opportunities based on the industry, their growth, their preparation, and other criteria that you can customize if you by search. For example, if you're interested in a role in IT, you can just click on that particular role or category that you're interested in, and you can see the average wage per hour, the salary, and also how likely there will be a new job opportunity in the future. And the last one I want to mention that's on this screenshot is the Career Finder, which is at the bottom. So this tool offers personalized career suggestions based on the student's interest in the level of work experiences. It's kind of similar to the Myers-Briggs. So students, they can complete an assessment and just view careers that match their assessment resources. Some other resources that are available in Career Connection, we'll be talking about next, the Resume Builder. And also, as mentioned earlier, I'll be doing the mock interview tool demonstration.
Great. Yeah, we'll try to put as many resources in there as we think will be helpful, and videos that we've collected over time. And so you can search that. If there's a topic you're interested in, go in there and see if you can find those resources, and then you can find other areas to explore. The next section we're going to talk about is really with the resumes and documents folder. One of the advantages to using Career Connection in your job search is that you can save your resumes or cover letters to your system, and then when a job comes up or an internship comes up, you are ready to apply to it, because you'll have a series of resumes in there that you're customizing for a job. You can have, or if you decide you have a new resume you want to add, you can just upload it by saying add new, and you can, again, to be very specific and intentional in your job searches, to customize your resumes, customize your cover letters, so that when you apply to a job, the employer knows you are applying to their job, you are interested in working for them as an employer. This isn't just a standard cookie cutter resume, cookie cutter cover letter that you're submitting. So you have the opportunity to be flexible with the types of documents that you save in here, and by adding those. And we'll note, two of the things on here, that the opt-in resume book is a tool that will be used for different programs. So it's not something that you would necessarily see every time you log in to the system. So we're really not covering that. And the portfolio is sort of a throwback. It's where documents can be kept, but really you're just going to keep them in your documents folder. The portfolio is a really a tool that's not as helpful these days, because they've really upgraded the profile. And customizing your profile. So you really are going to use that, and you can be able to use that to customize what you have to represent to employers. So again, the resume builder, which you'll find under the documents, and you can create a new resume or create a new cover letter. Both of those will take you to a series of templates that are based on entry-level employee, I'm looking for an internship, I'm an accounting major, I'm an IT major, I'm a graphic design major. And there are templates that are in there that you can open up to start with, and it'll give you suggested language on what to write for your objective statement or your professional statement, how to provide information about your skills and transferable skills that you've had, or learn on the jobs that you've had. So you're able to plug those in. It will lay it all out for you, format it in a couple different types of formatting, and allow you to save it. So you don't have to, it spell checks, it keeps an eye on those kinds of things, and it puts it together so the font is right and the margins are right. and you can save it and you're ready to go to apply for that job that you're going to find on here. Even though this template is there and it does help you, we obviously really want you to have someone else look at your resume before you submit it. It's always a good idea to have somebody check that out for you, another set of eyes on there, and we have additional information on resumes in the resource library for you to look at to help you get started. The other program, which was offered in the systemic series a couple weeks ago, was building a standout resume. It's a great program. You'll want to watch the entire thing. But if you want to jump to the section that talks about the resume builder tool, we do have it at like 37 minutes into the program. Christina does a great presentation on how to actually use the resume builder tool in here. Since we already have that great program, we're not going to really spend the time to demo it here, but please go ahead and you'll check that out on the Systemic YouTube channel. And then again, you'll get these slides, so you'll have all this information that you can follow up with to check it out. Now, what we do want to have spend some time on is to do a demonstration of the mock interview tool. So Christina is going to walk you through that and show you how to practice a mock interview online using Career Connection. The digital online interviews are becoming more and more important. They were before because this gave you a chance to at least practice your interview skills before you walked into an interview. Well, these days we're not really walking into interviews as much, but you are going to be online doing screening interviews, or employers will be interviewing online. So you need to sort of learn to practice how to work with the camera on your computer, how to set up your lighting, how to make sure that all of those things are lined up. This gives you the chance to do that. So Christina, I'll let you take over from there.
All right, thank you, Dana. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. All right. As Dana mentioned, the mock interview tool, it does allow students to practice their interviewing skills. This tool has over 1,000 pre-recorded questions from which students and alumni can choose from to build their interview. I will mention beforehand, if you do have like a Zoom video showing and you're trying to kind of test it out, turn off your video because you won't be able to actually use the tool. And then another thing to mention is make sure you're using Google Chrome as well. And then to actually find the mock interview tool in Career Connection, you go under Resources, and then you will select Mock Interview. And this is where the screen will pop up for the mock interviews. You can see a list of recommended interviews, which are all preset. So if you have a particular major and you want to do a mock interview based on that major, you can do that as well. And as you can see, there are multiple different majors and different topics that you can do your mock interview practicing on. But for the purpose of this demonstration, we're going to customize our own. To get there, we're going to go to My Mock Interviews. And if I had any mock interviews that I've attempted before, you will see them here. But since I don't have any, I'm going to just go ahead and select Create New Mock Interview. So you can copy questions from a pre-existing mock interview. I could do that if I had any listed, but I'm gonna go ahead and just name my interview just for this purpose test. And then I'm gonna continue. So these are the different categories that you can choose from. As stated before, there are over 1,000 pre-recorded questions, but for this purpose and some things you can think about is like, if you have any difficulties with different soft skills or anything that you have questions about that you want to get answered, you can just pick different sections that you may have difficulties on. But for this particular demonstration, I'm just going to pick 3 questions randomly, and then I'm just going to add them here. As you can see, like when I add different questions, they're about 3 minutes long, so you have 3 minutes per question. And then you can go to different sections. You can search questions as well, or search topics. So I'm going to pick these 3 questions, and they are about 9 minutes long, but we won't take 9 minutes. So we're gonna hit save and continue. And if you ever need to go back, you can go back to the previous step as well. So we're gonna go to the next step. So these are the different interviewers that you can choose from. Here you can, they do choose a preferred interviewer, but it's definitely your choice. For this one, I'm gonna select just a different interviewer. You can also save and take this interview later. If you just want to build it up and then just take it at another time, you can always do that. But I'm gonna go ahead and select start your mock interview. And so here I'll just select continue because it's gonna adjust, try to adjust my audio and video settings. And if my actual face was showing for this video, you can see your face will pop up here. It'll check the video input and the audio input and the volume level to make sure that everything sounds good. One of the things that I do want to mention is that you can also practice one question before you do the interview, just to get you comfortable with how this interview process works. So we're going to go ahead and just do a practice question right quickly. And so as you can see, there's going to be 1 out of 1 questions that we're going to answer. After the video starts, the interviewer starts, you have 30 seconds just to prepare yourself to start the recording. And then we will select next. And then we'll answer our sample questions, select practice question.
Describe a typical work week.
Say, okay, so from here, you see this green button here, you have about 30 seconds. Here's the countdown to record your answer. You can push the record button before that time. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And then you can see at the top here, for this question, you have 3 minutes. So the countdown will show the three-minute countdown. And we do ask that you at least have 15 seconds of like a response so they can capture it. And then once you're done, you can hit stop recording and it'll automatically stop it. So for this piece, like your practice question is complete, you can always go back and replay your practice response. You can restart it and do it all over again or change any settings that you need. So now we're gonna go ahead and just start the interview since we're okay with our practice question. So this will just pop up again before your interview, just giving you some tips to help you out to prepare yourself for the mock interview tool. So we're gonna go.
Are there any specific skills or achievements you'd like to share with us?
And similar to the practice question, you'll have the 30 seconds to answer your question and then the 3 minutes to answer it. So I'm just gonna let it run out to show you that it automatically starts up. As you can see, it automatically started up for me, and I have the 3 minutes to answer the question. And so once I'm done, I'm gonna hit stop recording and then I'll go to the next question. I'm gonna hit next question to go to the next one.
What are your plans for after graduation?
Then I'll have my 30 seconds to prepare myself to record if necessary, and then go to the response. And then after I'm done, I'll hit next question.
Describe a typical work week.
All right, we're at our last question. We're gonna hit record answer. And then the countdown for the 3 minutes starts again. We're gonna hit stop recording. And so now you have completed your mock interview. There are a few things that you can do. You can request feedback. So basically, you can go in and put an email address of someone that you want to request feedback for your interview. They can go in, they'll receive an email, and they will be able to review each question, rate it, and then provide any comments. So as you can see, you can just put in an email address and then submit and it will email it to them. You can also review the interview if you just want to go back and just review everything that you said during the interview. You can do that as well, or you can just go ahead and exit. And this note here, just know that your completed interview will remain available for 90 days. So I'm gonna go ahead and exit. So this will take me back to the main mock interview page. If you go to my mock interviews, you can see my first attempt that I made. Here you can see where you can review it. You can share it, which is different from request your feedback. So with share your interview, you'll just, you can share it and create a passcode. So you'll copy this link and the person, they will have the passcode, and then you can save a passcode for it, and then that person can just review it. They won't be able to provide any feedback on it. And then you can also download it as well if you just want to keep it for your records. If you're not too satisfied with it, you can always record a new attempt. Every attempt is listed here. So if you need to go back and look at a previous attempt that you've done, you can always look at that as well. Yeah, so this is the mock interview tool, just a short overview of it. Definitely, if you have any questions about it, you can add it to the chat, and I will be happy to answer your questions about the mock interview tool.
Thanks, Christina. So the mock interview tool, as I said earlier, it is terrifying. There's no question about it, to watch yourself do an interview. But once you've done it a few times, it certainly helps you feel more comfortable in how you're answering those kinds of questions. As Christina mentioned, a question you may think you may have some challenges with, you can select it out of the menu. You can select the preset interview for your major and go through and do those things. And more, whether it's going to be a live online interview or a recorded interview like this, as a screening interview where employers will ask you to record your interview and then you submit that to them. And it will be that sort of experience where you've only got 30 seconds to think about it and then you have to answer it. So it does help you think on your feet and kind of get accustomed to that process. So now that you've gotten your resume all polished up and it looks good, and you've got your cover letter, and now you've practiced your interviews, and now you're ready to go. Now what we all want to do is go find a job, go find an internship. And we're going to go through and demonstrate how to use Career Connection to search for and apply for jobs and internships. We have employers who come directly to NOVA. They have accounts in Career Connection because they are hiring NOVA students and alumni. They want to post at NOVA because they know they want our students. So this, when you see a job posted in Career Connection, it's not quite like something just in Indeed where they're advertising to the entire world. These the employers here in Career Connection are looking for NOVA students. As well, there are opportunities in here where we do have national companies and regional companies who post in here. We get curated jobs that get added to our system, and those employers are also vetted. So we make sure that it's the employers are legitimate, that the jobs they're offering are legitimate, and they match to the needs and the majors and the programs of our students. And so it's a much more focused way of looking for a job because we know that these employers are interested in NOVA. So I'm going to go ahead and let Kat demonstrate the job section for us.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. Okay, and I'm going to go back to the home page. So I'm on the home page of Career Connection, and I want to do a job search. So I'm going to go to the left-hand side to Jobs and Internships, search Jobs and Internships. So it brings me to the main job postings page, and right off the bat, you'll notice that if you scroll down, there's already some jobs being recommended to you. This first job carousel right here is recommending me some jobs based on the past ones I've looked at. The one below it is feeding directly from the My Account academic section we filled out in our career interests. So you could see right here how important it is to fill in your career interests. It's recommending me jobs right now based on what I've filled in. And then there's some other ones down here. This one is popular in your major, employers that you're following, which we'll talk about in a minute. Some of the latest jobs, jobs expiring, and these can rotate depending on what you have in the system. So there's a lot of recommended jobs right on your homepage of the job search right off the bat. So if you want to see all of the jobs and you're not really looking for anything specific, you can go to Show Me All Job Listings, and it'll pull up all the jobs that are currently active. You can go through them by date posted, or if you want to go through them by the application deadline, you could do that also. However, most people are probably wanting to look for jobs that are a little bit more specific. And that's why we have all of these great filters and search bars at the top of the page. So let's do, well, the filters here, first of all, we have some position type filters, part-time, full-time, internships, and some other categories. You can search by the employer's industry. So if you're interested in a certain industry, you could put that in. Job function, if you're interested in accounting, you can put that, architecture, etc. And then we have a couple more filters over here that get a little more specific. You can put in desired majors. So this is like, if you're looking for employers that are looking for your major specifically, you can go ahead and add that in. So I want to see employers that want accounting majors. You could do that. There's some other ones, work authorization, the apply by date, when is the deadline approaching, when was the job actually posted, and a couple other things down here like percentage of travel. So you have all those filtering options. Just to give you a example search, let's say that I'm looking for a full-time IT job in the DC, Northern Virginia area. So I'm gonna use the keyword bar and I'll type in the IT. I could also find it in job function if I want to find information technology, but I'm just going to type it in for now. Job position, I want a full-time job. And location, I'm interested in working in the area, so I'll put DC. And I could also indicate how far away from DC I'm willing to work. So I'll do 25 miles. I'm pretty flexible. So based on that criteria there, I'll press the search button. And all of these jobs that match what I've put in are going to pop up automatically. So I can scroll through these and see what I like. On the side, on the right-hand side here, you'll see a couple options. You can thumbs down a job. If it's something you're not interested in, you can let the system know so that in the future, they don't recommend jobs that are very similar to that one you didn't like. And then you see a star next to jobs as well. So if you are interested in this job, you can favorite it or star it and go back to it later. That's a good way if you're not ready to apply right at this moment, you can easily go back and find this job again. And once you do star whatever jobs you're interested in, you will find them at the top of your page under favorites right here. You can click on the favorites and you'll see all of those jobs that you favorited. If you want to be updated on new jobs that are posted that fit your search criteria, you can create a job alert by clicking the upper right-hand button right here. It says create job alert. You can click that. It says you'll now get job alerts for this search. So now anytime a new job is posted that has IT as a keyword in the Washington, DC 25-mile radius area and is a full-time position, you'll be notified about that new job posting. You can manage all of the job postings you have under the job alerts section right here. It's right above the create a job alert. So you can see that these are my two job alerts. They're identical right now, but that's from a presentation earlier. And you could also indicate how frequently you'd like to be updated about the new jobs. So right now I have it set to weekly, but maybe I just want a monthly update of the new jobs posted that fit this criteria. I can do that. So it's a good way to stay on top of jobs if you're actively job searching. The system kind of does it for you and just lets you know that a new job has been posted that fits your interests. All right, so let's actually click into a job and see what that looks like. So I'll click on IT Help Desk Technician. Here we are. And you could see at the very top, it has the name of the position, full-time, and it has the employer's name right here. You can click on the employer if you want to learn more about them. I'm not going to do that right now. We're just going to go over the job page, but know that it's there. On the sidebar, you see important dates. When was this job posted? When is the application deadline? Very important date. You'll also see on the right-hand sidebar related resources. And these are just career connection resources that might help you apply to this job. So, you know, we just talked about mock interviews is down there, how to build your resume guide, all these other great things that might help you apply to this job. And then of course we have the job description, position type, all of the basic information about this job that the employer has typed into Career Connection here. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, there's additional details like the location of the job, the desired majors. These are the majors the employer is most interested in. And then the salary levels included. There's also another job carousel at the bottom called similar jobs that you can scroll through and see some opportunities that might be similar to this one that I just clicked on. All right, and also at the very top is the same star we saw on the other page. It's just another opportunity for you to add this job to your favorites. You can also follow specific employers with this follow button next to the employer's name. So if you click on follow, you will also receive notifications and updates when the employer posts a new job, or if they're doing some kind of event that will also, with Northern Virginia Community College, say they're coming to a career fair or something like that, you'll also be notified that they are coming to campus or participating in a career event. So I showed you already where you can access your favorite jobs. It was back under the Search Jobs and Internship tab right here. And then if you want to see a list of the employers that you're following, you would go to the left-hand sidebar under Employers, Favorite Employers right here. And it'll show you that list. So once you're actually ready to apply to this job, you'll see the apply buttons right here. Click into that. And there are a couple of different ways an employer might ask you to apply to a job on Career Connection. A lot of times they'll give you an external link that will take you directly to the employer's website to apply through their own system. So that's one common way that they do it. Another is they might give you an email address and ask you to directly email them your application materials, like your resume, cover letter, whatever they require. And then the third way is the one that you see right here. It's asking you to just submit your resume through the system or submit whatever materials the employer requires through Career Connection. And you could see that right here, the resume is required. And I could choose one of the resumes that I've previously uploaded to Career Connection, or if I've never done that before or just want to use a completely different resume, I could add a new resume. So after I would attach my resume, I would click submit. And I'm not going to do that because this is a real job and I'm not going to actually apply to it. But say I did hit submit and I submit my application materials and I just want to go back and check out the past job applications I submit. You can do that by going to the Job and Internship tab again on the left and then clicking on My Job Applications. So right here, you could see all of the job applications that you have applied to in the past. And then a couple last things. So on the left-hand side, you'll also see something called External Job Search Board. This is under Jobs and Internships again. This will take you to a board outside of Career Connection that is where anyone can post to it. It's not specifically posted for Northern Virginia Community College students. It's more of a generic board that's accessible to the public, similar to Indeed or Career Builder, or any other external sites you might use for your job search. And it's linked in the system just to give you a quick, easy click over to that search as well. And then the very last thing I just want to mention is I talked a little bit about the ways that you can set up job alerts, and you could set up alerts for when your favorite employers post something new. You could manage all of the notifications and emails that you get from Career Connection. And you could do that under the My Account, Emails and Notification settings. So once you're here, you'll see two tabs. There's the Email tab and there's the Notification tab. And you can go through and customize what you'd actually like to be notified about. I highly recommend doing this. Our office sends out job blasts pretty frequently. We send out upcoming events, and then of course the notifications I talked about with the jobs and the employers. These are all things you could manage. So definitely take a look through this section and check off what you want to receive updates about and uncheck what you don't want to hear updates about. And I think I covered everything I wanted to talk about in the job and internship search, but if you have any other additional questions, please feel free to type them in or save them for the end of the presentation. And I'll pass it back to Dana.
Great, thank you. So I think that some of the questions are saying is, you know, the job descriptions and the employers will post all of the information in their job description. So once you click on that job, it will take you to the full page and it will have all the details that the employer has provided about the job requirements, educational requirements, whether there is, you know, citizenship required, whether they're accepting, you know, applicants with OPT status. So that information will be there in the job description. If there's something missing in that job description that you're not seeing, you would want to go ahead and follow up with the employer to find out more information about the job itself if you're interested in applying to it, and going from there.
I also want to mention on that topic, if you don't see contact information for the employer and you do have that kind of question about a job, you could reach out to our office as well. Sometimes employers don't make that contact information public, but we can help you by putting you in contact with them to ask that question about the application.
Great. So one of the other really cool features about Career Connection is that it is cordless. You can go online by using the apps for either Android or Apple, and everything that we just showed you that you can do on your desktop, you can do on your phone. Now, I wouldn't really recommend writing a resume on your phone necessarily, because you'll want to make sure you look at that a little more clearly and in a larger format. But you can search for these jobs if you wanted to, you know, use these other tools to do some research, to look for employers, to tag an employer and favorite them. And then later on, once you get back, you can look it up. It's there and ready for you while you've been on the road doing something else. And so both of those links are here at the bottom of the screen. Whether you have Apple or Android, you can go ahead and use the mobile app. And that will, again, be very helpful in being available to you on your time when you're ready, when you've got a minute. You can kind of take a look at that and see what's happening. Check out if there's events that are going on. You'll get these email reminders about events that you've registered for. You'll get the email alerts that Kat referenced and the notifications. And we send out bi-weekly newsletter or an email that can be links to your major if you've selected that to filter on that, or general information about jobs that are coming up. So the system is dynamic in that it will provide you information as long as you're using the filters, you're setting up, and you can go back in there and get that information. And so that is a significant piece to really help your flexibility in looking for careers and looking for jobs and internships. Yeah, we do hope that now that you've kind of seen just a smattering of what Career Connection do, please get in there, play with it, use the tools, and use them to your advantage. And we wish you all the best of success.